Great. So thank you for that introduction, Dario. It's my great pleasure to be kicking off the first session of today's MEF Connects Digital event. As Dario said, I'm Tim Green. I'm the features editor of the MEF, and I'm going to be hosting this keynote with Robert Gertsmann from Sinch. And it's a real pleasure to do that. Just by way of introduction, I should say that a few years back, when it was Sinch's 10th anniversary, I went out to Sweden to do a write-up for them, sort of covering their first 10 years. And my recollection was them telling me that for the first couple of years, they operated out of the back of a Caribbean travel agent in Sweden in one room. And that was where they started. And then this week, they've raised $1.1 billion of funding. So I think it's fair to say that they've grown pretty fast and they know what they're doing. And so I think we should all listen to Robert. And as I said, Robert is the co-founder and chief evangelist of Sinch, and today he's going to be walking us through conversational messaging, the next step in digital transformation. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Robert. Thank you.
Hi, Tim. Thank you. Pleasure to be having this keynote for everyone here today. Should I just kick off, Tim, or how do you want to play it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have a presentation, right? And if the technical stuff goes right, then you can just start walking us through that.
Okay, excellent. Let me share my screen then. There we go. Share screen. There we go. Can you see that, Tim?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, excellent.
A bit noisy, Robert, so speak up.
Okay, yeah. Good stuff. All right, so I'm actually, I can tell you that the weather is still the same as it was 12 years ago in Sweden, so the need for travel is still there. So I'm actually speaking to you guys from Spain today. I just came down to Mallorca this morning, so it's lovely down here. All right, conversational messaging, the next step in digital transformation is what I want to be speaking about today. You got a quick background from Tim on who I am. I said I'm the chief evangelist and one of the co-founders of Sinch. I've been in mobiles for the last 20 years and really been working with A2P SMS since 2002. So a lot has happened in those years, and a lot will happen in the years to come. So here we go. I'll start just briefly introducing Sinch, 2 slides, and then get into to the meat of the presentation. Who are we? You get some numbers here. Our mission statement is that Sinch, we simplify life by bringing all people and businesses together. And we do that through mobile technology. If you look at the volume number there, that means that Sinch, we essentially touch every person on the planet over 18 times per year. So, you know, Sinch and also this entire industry is a truly global phenomenon. I guess why I'm speaking about conversational messaging today is simply down to the fact that you know, we're very active in this space. I think a lot of companies have a similar type of product portfolio where you have a conversation API that spans many different types of messages, be it all the way from you know, old school SMS to newer channels like Telegram or WhatsApp or Instagram, etc. And on top of that, you have applications that enable enterprises to easier consume communications. So that's what we do. We do in the conversational space. But let's take a look of what we believe where this market is going. So first of all, I think, or we think, customer experience is absolute key. So over the past, you know, decade or so, we've really seen businesses drive digital transformation with, you know, waves of technical advances and changes within businesses to update, you know, processes and tools leveraging the cloud, big data, IoT, etc. So a lot of the base infrastructure. We really believe that the next stage in digital transformation, and it's been fueled, by the recent pandemic, it has to be and it will be in customer experience. And if you start very basic, and maybe I'm preaching to the choir here, mobile is the underlying fabric for a lot of digital customer experience. And a lot of digital customer experience starts and ends on the mobile device. I have some stats here. 53% of global web traffic occurs on the mobile. 63% of US organic search, mobile devices. 48% of emails are opened on mobile. 80% of all video views happen on mobile. So mobile, for digital customer experience, this is the platform. And then on mobile, customers or consumers prefer messaging. We have about 3 billion people on various messaging apps, and if you add SMS to that, you get up to over 5 billion people. That is the biggest channel of any sort that there is. It's higher than email and internet penetration, etc. 100 billion messages were sent across per day across all the Facebook properties. And I mean, mobile messaging has superior conversion to email, and consumers, when asked, really say it's their channel of choice. They prefer messaging. Again, if you look at Sinch here, we did 145 billion messages last year, and are looking to do, and out of that, I think we will be doing some 5 billion messages on WhatsApp this year. So, I can really testify to that the new channels are happening and are, starting to really make a mark. And it's really a paradigm shift. So we believe conversational messaging is the single biggest paradigm shift taking place in communications between brands and consumers. And they have a stat here from Gartner that 50% of businesses will spend more money on conversational applications than on their mobile app this year. That's a pretty big stat, and I mean, that trend is only going one way. And it's not only the app side of things. So why is this happening? I believe, conversational messaging combines the advantages of, existing business messaging channels like email, mobile apps, and SMS. You have the rich elements from email and mobile apps and the ability to brand, and at the same time you have kind of the immediacy and simplicity from SMS. Then, SMS was universal and native by nature. With the OTT apps, you don't really have that, and not even, Apple Business Chat or RCS, which are native, are universal. So here, our industry has a job to do to provide omni-channel APIs to allow the same native experience and universal coverage that SMS had for the enterprises to communicate with their customers. The other reason, this trend is or why this is happening is, on the voice side, a lot of things that we today handle in call centers will also move into conversational messaging. The ability to automate conversations by using AI-powered bots will push enterprises to create, especially customer care use cases, but customer experience in general over messaging instead of having people call their call centers, with obvious cost savings on the back of that. And also the fact that, no one really likes waiting in line for a call center. The subscriber can do this when he or she wants to do it. This type of asynchronous communication means that the customer experience is much better. So the brand can both save money and increase customer experience at the same time. And that's why, we see brands starting to move into conversational messaging, and that's a trend that's going to, be huge in the coming decade. If you look at our friends at Gartner again, the primary part of this market today is still SMS, and SMS is a fairly one-way medium. It's good for a brand or an enterprise to be able to notify a consumer about something, but it's not really equipped for two-way rich conversations. So we go up the pyramid and enter all the different OTT channels, which have taken obviously the P2P market since many years back. They are now entering the application to person market in a big way. In order to be able to leverage these channels, you need and create digital customer service. You need to combine them with bots, NLP, AI, add it to enable your contact center agents to be able to pick up conversations from the bots that didn't get solved, etc., etc. And finally, adding payments and security will complete this next cycle of allowing consumers to interact, connect directly, and complete transactions in a safe and secure way on the channel that they are most comfortable with. And I think we are at the beginning of this whole journey. And there's lots of activity all across this pyramid. And as you see on the right-hand side here, the higher up you come in this pyramid, the more complex do the engagements become. And that's obviously a challenge for the enterprises and for the industry to overcome. But at the same time, the customer experience and the value for consumers increases with that complexity. So I think this is very much what the next 10 years in this space will hold. So in summary, what's happening is we're moving from text to rich media, images, video, etc., from one way to conversations. And as you move into conversation, personalization becomes critical. If you are talking to your customer, let's say an insurance company, the customer will expect you to know that he or she had let's say a car accident last year. The context becomes key. So personalization, know your customer, and what they have, what preferences they have, what's their background, etc., will become key for the brands. And then, as I said, in order to have a true universal way of speaking to everyone, regardless of which channel they are on, omni-channel will become the new norm. If we then look at the customer journey element, enterprises are looking for richer messaging capabilities that enable them to engage more deeply with their customers at scale. And we talked about climbing this pyramid, and here I'd like to walk you through some of the opportunities to use conversational messaging throughout the entire customer journey. It really ranges from awareness over consideration to conversion. Today, I would say, SMS, if you look at messaging, covers that, but it's mainly just, more bulk type marketing. Maybe it's somewhat personalized, but it's very simplistic. With conversational messaging, the abilities just, grow exponentially. Then once you have a customer, conversational messaging will enable you to serve that customer better. At lower operational costs, as we saw earlier, you could automate large parts of your call centers and provide better customer experience, which then will reduce churn, etc. I would say this is where SMS today is used a lot. I would say probably, if I look at Sinch, probably 80% of our volumes are in this service segment, and the remaining 20 are in the three segments on the left-hand side. A completely new thing that opens up with conversational messaging is loyalty and customer care, because this very much requires two-way capabilities, and here you can increase customer lifetime value, improve NPS scores, etc. And this is something where we're also, which is difficult today on text messaging, consumers can initiate the conversation with the brand. So this is net new market growth with a plethora of use cases that don't really exist today. So I guess the message here, you can really use conversational messaging in any type of the customer journey and the customer life cycle. And customer experience creates true value. More than 70% of consumers say good experiences is one of the main contributing factors in building loyalty. So which means that your customer retention and future-proofing your business is highly dependable on your ability to set up an appealing customer journey. And with this in mind, it's no wonder that 80% of companies that invest in customer experience outperform those that don't. And also with customer experience reducing churn and even increasing customer willingness to spend, businesses with superior customer experiences can bring in almost 6 times the revenue. So it may sound fuzzy, but there's true value being created. Another thing is just and these are numbers from Sinch. These are the richness of the interactions you have with your customer means that the customers engage longer with the brands. So here you have a text message on the left hand, you have an interactive, it's essentially a mobile initiated landing page, but it's still pretty one way, and then conversational on the right hand side. And as you can see, the time the consumer engages with these various forms, and it's really the same message, goes up 40 times, which is huge. Next one here, and I touched on this, the ability to automate a lot of your consumer interactions. We've seen cases where brands have been able to automate up to 80% of their interactions, which reduces cost. And it's generally the simple use cases or the simple questions that can be automated. And then the trick here is to let virtual and live agents work together. So you have your bot handle the simple queries, and then at a point in time where the customer isn't being helped, you can have your live contact center agents take over. And this then brings both convenience and speed to customers. And we've even seen customers who've had lower churn of staff in their call centers because the simple questions essentially go away, and it's more interesting to help people with real problems that you need a human to solve. Looking at the use case, this is from Brazil, an education company which uses WhatsApp and SMS to do a number of different things. They use it for student recruitments, for registration, for scheduling, and for customer support. And some of their stats here, and it's all then powered by NLP and have an integrated contact center who can take over from the bot if needed. 40% of students were able to complete enrollment using SMS and WhatsApp, and 25% did the whole customer journey through the automated conversational experience. And they had a 70% increase in customer service, much faster way to deliver the service than previously. So improved speed, response rates, and allowed again the staff to handle more complex student inquiries. So very, very strong in how you can use conversational messaging in your business. So, this is more of a summary. It really is all about leveraging the conversational messaging channels, automate conversations and scale using AI, and then optimize live agent interactions for the real problems that you need humans to do. There's already a plethora of channels, and our friends over at Facebook are actually launching a messenger API now also for Instagram. They obviously already have WhatsApp and they have Facebook Messenger. Now Instagram will also be a channel in this new conversational messaging space.
Robert, can you hear me, Robert? I think we just have one more minute, so I'm sorry to have to rush you, but I'm being told that we have one more minute, so we need to wrap it up.
That's perfect. I think everyone's aware of Instagram, so I'll move on. Here you see some of the features that Instagram will be providing, and they basically released a beta program now for Sinch and others to participate in. I want to end up with a use case here. Leitorinha, again a Brazilian case, which is a children's book subscription. And they are already trialing Instagram with the results of their brand rating improving, the customer service team had reduced resolution time, and end users had improved engagement. And you see some of the stats there on the right-hand side where we were comparing their achievements with Instagram versus what they had on other channels, mainly kind of text messaging and call centers over the last 6 months. So to wrap up, I'm pretty confident in saying we can today, there are proven business outcomes with conversational messaging, be it to drive revenue, to reduce cost, or to improve customer experience. So I think everyone here listening, regardless if you're a brand or someone within the messaging industry, I think this is happening now, and I think it's a great opportunity for all of us. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening and hand over to you, Tim.
Robert, thank you so much. I'm sorry to rush you at the end there.
No worries.
We should all be grateful to Robert because he's had a very busy week raising all that money, and also he's on his way to the airport and he's in a hotel presenting. So, but it was full of great stuff, and just obviously brought home to us just how exciting this market is and how much potential there is in it. So once again, Robert, thank you very much for your time this morning. And
thank you, Tim.
I will remind everybody that all presentations are going on the website, so you'll be able to watch them again or share them with your colleagues. And with that, I'll hand back to Dario, and I think we're going to be talking about enterprise apps next. So back to you, Dario. Thanks very much.